All right, everybody, today we're talking about fishing burnout. Yes, it's a real thing, especially on the tournament side of things. Let's get into it. All right, so you guys haven't seen many actual tournament fishing vids or fishing vids in general here the last several weeks, and there's a reason for that. You know, I've been kayak fishing since 2011, so going on 12 years of doing this, and I love every second of it. Love the friendships I've made, the partnerships I've made with some great companies, all the places I've gotten to visit. I can't say enough about kayak fishing and what it's meant to me and what it's done for me. But there comes a point after running so many tournaments for so many years, fishing in so many tournaments for so many years, you just kind of you can find yourself in a little bit of a funk. And towards the end of last year, the beginning of this year, I kind of noticed some things from a mental standpoint that were off. I couldn't really put my finger on it, but I've kind of decided to take the summer off and just fish a little bit on the river, do some other stuff, work out, work on my fitness, things like that. So let me tell you what hit me and why I felt like I needed a break, some of the symptoms of burnout that I felt. And then in the comments, please put if you guys have ever felt that in any sport, fishing or any other sport, put that in the comments too. And how did you get over it? I know, I used to play a lot of basketball, and when you're in a slump or whatever, the old theory is shoot or shoot. So if you're in a fishing slump and it's about results, you just keep plugging away until you get better. And it really wasn't about that for me. I've struggled a little bit the last few tournaments, but I think that's more a result of my attitude as opposed to my actual fishing ability. I mean, I've been fishing a long time. I know how to catch fish. But if your attitude's not there, your edge isn't there in a tournament situation, especially a multi-day, you really don't have a chance. So what I started figuring out towards the end of last year, and especially this year, I've made some jokes about it on our podcast and on social media and stuff, but I found myself not practicing or not even wanting to practice for an event, showing up in fishing history, and if the bite wasn't good, even in local events where I was 10 minutes from my house, I was in my mind looking for an excuse to call it a day early. I had a limit here in a local tournament on Beaver Lake at 10:30, 11 o'clock, and left. Just left. I thought, I'm in the mid-teens or 20s right now. I don't really feel like grinding the rest of the day. My neck's kind of hurting, my shoulders kind of, just telling myself all these excuses that I never would have let bother me before just to get out of there. Multi-day events. This year I was at a Hobie event on Broken Bow, which is one of my favorite places in the world to fish. Had a limit on day one, missed a couple bigger fish, but if you guys followed that Broken Bow event, from 60th to 20th, there was about a 4-inch spread. I mean, it was a quarter inch for every 10 places, it seemed like. So I had a limit, and I knew I could catch 5 the next day too, and maybe make a move. But instead of thinking of it that way, I sat around the house with a bunch of other guys from the Old Town team and just kind of came to the conclusion, you know what? Once again, my neck hurts, my shoulder hurts, which is all true. But in my younger days, or when I was first starting this, I didn't let any of that kind of get in my head or bother me. I just said, you know what? I'm going to load up and go home. So Saturday night, with day 2 staring me in the face and points for the TOC and all that stuff, I loaded up and drove home. And it was kind of after that I decided, you know what? What's going on here? And I thought about it, and I think I was just burnt out on tournament competition, whether it was local events, regional events, national events. I just was tired of it. Now, if y'all follow our Kayak Bass Nation podcast, I love talking about this stuff. We talk about it every Monday night and talk about the big time tournaments. And there's a few bucket list lakes that I kind of wish I was going to this summer, but I decided to give myself a mental break, or a break for the summer. Not fish any tournaments, not even local tournaments. Just fish on the river, go fishing early in the morning for just a few hours, kind of get my mind back right, and then I'm signed up for the Hobie BOS event in the fall on Dardanelle in September, and kind of get back into it and hit that full bore, hopefully with a renewed sense of urgency, a renewed sense of fun, and ready to grind for the end of the year there, make a push. So that's my story. Burnout is real. If you feel like it's, this is just kayak fishing, it's always supposed to be fun, and any kind of thing like this, if it's not fun, you really don't need to be doing it. So, it costs a lot of money, a lot of time from your family, a lot of time off work, so you got to make sure it's fun. And if you start feeling like the fun's slipping and you're looking for an excuse to run home, you may need a little break. So let me know what you guys think of that. Have you ever suffered burnout? How'd you deal with it? Put that in the comments below. As always, I appreciate y'all watching. Hit that like and subscribe, and we'll have some more fishing content coming for you here soon.